Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 3 as Austria-Hungary. So, sorry it has been a couple of weeks since the last part. There's a couple of reasons for that. Combination of me being busy with other projects, feeling a little under the weather when I would sit down to go and record, and then also just playing far too much of X4 because I've actually sort of finally gotten around to getting into the game this go around, so yeah, I've just played it far too much. So, I've actually already played this campaign basically to conclusion after I'd gotten ahead the last recording session. There are two events that in my experience, one of them is basically guaranteed to happen, it seems like. The other one may or may not happen, and I prefer for it not to happen in many ways, but if it does, we'll need to find a way to deal with it. Those events, the first one that's, from what I could tell, seemed to basically guaranteed to happen because I played a couple of times based off of this save that we made at the end of the last part. Russia will attempt to protectorate Portugal. Spain will say, that's my backyard, and go to war with Russia to support Portugal's independence. Well, I say that. I think Portugal actually calls Spain into the war, but whatever. Prussia will also decide, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to go to war with Russia. And so they'll join in on the war on the side of Portugal. Russia will say, okay, sure, we can fight this, and will decide to humiliate both Prussia and Spain. I don't really mind them humiliating Prussia. That potentially makes our life easier because it could knock them down in status. If we can at least get them down to a minor power, we might actually be able to peacefully get their support. Otherwise, we're going to have to revert back to the old-fashioned way of beating their ass and taking their land. And honestly, in some ways, if I can get them peacefully, I would sort of prefer that. But if we can't go that route, we can't go that route. That's fine with me. We'll survive. The second event, and the one that I don't really want to have happen because it's a real pain in the ass, is two Sicilies will attempt to unify Italy. I don't really mind them attempting to unify Italy. It's the fact that France gets involved in the war that I'm not really a big fan of. Trying to fight a mostly unified Italy. The exception being the Papal States. For some reason, they always seem to stay independent when two Sicilies attempts unification. While also fighting France is a royal pain. Even if I can call in Russia to back me up. The reality is Russia's not a particularly great ally, largely because the AI, I don't think, dedicates troops quite as much as it could for actually fighting wars. So Russia will basically hold back a large portion of their military, even though they're going to be actively still. And this typically overlaps with their war to protectorate Portugal. Even though they're going to be fighting two different wars, they will generally just kind of sit on the sidelines for mine. Even though mine, in many ways, is really the one that's going to matter. Because they pretty quickly wiped the floor with Prussia. I don't think they ever successfully managed to protectorate Portugal, though, in my experience. I don't think they ever managed to do that. But they do manage to humiliate Prussia, which is great for us. But nonetheless, they just kind of don't do anything to really help us too much. At least not quite as much as I would like for them to. So there's a few things we can do to potentially, hopefully, maybe, possibly stave off France in the event of a war. And I say in the event, that's wishful thinking that it won't happen, but nonetheless. That is largely to build up our military a little bit more. So we have 4 artillery brigades that we still need to build up for the Second Army, and 5 more cavalry for the Second Army as well. Let's go ahead and get those queued up. Excuse me. So we need 4 here of those, and 5 artillery, or not artillery, cavalry. Third Army is very small and needs to be built up significantly. They have 15 right now. We want to get them up to 50, so we need, what, 35? My math's correct. So... right? Yeah, that'll get you 45. And then, you know what? We'll toss in a couple of poles as well. Why not? There's really no major advantages one way or the other for splitting the production necessarily. Beyond just, I'm not putting all my eggs in a single state for troops. Which has pros and cons to it. That would get us 15, right? Yeah. That'll get us 20. 15, then 20. Fourth Army needs to be built up significantly as well. So... whoops. Meant to do control, not shift, but whatever. Okay. That. Yeah, we're going to do a mass military buildup right here at the very start. Hopefully this works out for us. Thing is, it's going to significantly increase our cost. So money is going to be a bit of an issue as a result of this. We'll survive, I'm sure. That's the Fourth Army. I really don't want to leave the Fifth Army with such a small force. But I think we're going to leave the Fifth Army as a small force for right now, because we really, really need to build up this. Yeah, God, this sucks. We really need to build up our funds. We don't have the authority to pass anything there. We are losing out on about 1,000 monies from Alsace. Not a whole lot I can do for that. That's largely just due to timed modifier, so it's, yeah, recently conquered. Württemberg has a little bit of inefficiency due to lack of... where is it? Government administration. I will give them one. I'm going to have it stay at the very end of the queue, however, because it's not that important to us. They want me to launch a diplomatic play against Prussia, which I don't really want to do right now. I really thought I had a lot more construction, but I think I'm thinking of late game where I just had it like it was going out of style. And part of it, of course, is also the Suez is sucking up a fair bit of our construction as we try to build it. Yep. I don't really care. I'm going to absolve you of your obligation because I don't have any real use for taking it. Yep, here we go. Russia started a make protectorate diplomatic play against Portugal. Now, there are a few things I would love to do if given the opportunity. I would absolutely love to get an alliance with either Spain or Britain, because both could be useful against France, though Spain in some ways is more useful. Although I believe I did try to make an alliance with Spain before, but then they decided to attempt to take over Schleswig, I think it was. Or was it Hanover? It might have been Hanover, actually. One of the two. No, it was somebody with a yellow flag. And that just kind of, you know, ruined things. Yeah, we're mutually rivaling each other, so that's not super helpful for us. Yeah, I think in that case, probably next best option then would probably be an alliance with the US, potentially. Okay, Ethiopia is continuing to attempt its unification. That's fine with us. You do you, Ethiopia. Yep, there we go. There we go. Spain and Prussia are brought in. It doesn't really tell me why Prussia's brought in. They just, I guess, decided to support Portugal because reasons. I don't think they're even getting anything out of it. Yeah, they're not. Spain joins because of a call ally. Okay, yeah. I don't know where the hell you are. Oh, that's Madagascar. Okay. But yeah, like I said, Prussia always seems to take the humiliate option. Now, I could choose to join in on the war and say, hey, I will help you, Russia. In exchange, I want you to give me Kamchatka. No, why would I take Kamchatka? That's stupid. Unfortunately, I can't, like, try to puppet Prussia. If I could, that would just be the best thing ever, potentially. But unfortunately, I just can't. I could take war reps, but I don't really care to take war reps, honestly. I could say, hey, I want you to give me Silesia, which could be helpful, but that would, of course, piss off the Prussians further, and I'm trying to improve relations with them in hopes that maybe we can peacefully unify Germany. But that probably won't happen. But I'm still trying for it. Because I'd rather do it peacefully, even the opportunity. Now, as I was looking here, you have a rivalry with France and the Free States of America. Oh, well, luckily in that case, America, we actually somewhat reasonably have an opportunity for an alliance. If we can just improve diplomatic relations a little bit further, because we are currently just neutral, apparently, despite having mutual rivals, which is a little bit weird to me. But okay, I assume it's because I just decided to... I can only assume it's because I just put an interest here, and we've never had any overlapping interests before for me to be able to do that. Actually, I think that just changed. Yep, they are cooperative towards us, so they would potentially be willing to form an alliance. However, until we research multilateral alliances, we can only have the one with Russia. And I'd, in many ways, rather keep the one with Russia. Maybe a defensive pact with the US, though, would be helpful. Thing is that I don't believe that would help us in the event of Italian unification, because I don't believe it is considered a defensive war on our part. I believe we are technically considered the aggressor in it because reasons. You know, we're not the ones trying to forcefully unify Italy or anything like that, but I believe we do get considered to be the aggressor for it, so I don't think that's going to help us for that. Speaking of unification... Yeah, see, I don't really care too much. If I can just get Prussia to knock down enough. Part of it is I'd need them to get rid of their belligerent attitude towards us. But I'm kind of limited on my opportunities to do that. Because about the only way to do that would probably be to break my alliance with Russia. Which in many ways I would rather keep. Just because they're more useful to me. If I can get things up enough, and if I can actually get some diplomatic influence that I can use, because I just have like 0 for some reason. thing I'm blowing it all on other shit. Yes, I am blowing it all on Moldova, who I would love to annex peacefully if given the opportunity. But this still needs to go down further before I can demand annexation. I currently have a truce with them. Hanover, Hanover, I don't think it really matters too much. So long as you don't attempt to gain independence, I think technically this is perfectly fine. So I'm going to stop bankrolling you. I'm also going to stop funding lobbies in your country to save myself a little bit of cash. Now, if I can just get above poor relations with Russia, and I don't recall what the cutoff is for poor. I think it's somewhere in the 20s, though. I want to say it's somewhere in the 20s. Westphalia, resolve you of your obligation. I don't think I really need to bankroll you anymore. I think you are settled well enough. Yeah. I mean, technically Hanover could stand to go lower. Get them down to Dominion, because right now their max would actually be attempting to gain independence, which I don't really want them to do. But I think we'll survive. You have an alliance with Prussia, so that's not going to work. Why does the Netherlands flag look different to me? Is it just the colors seem more vibrant or something? I don't recall it being that vibrant of a orange at the top there. But maybe it's just me. You have a trade agreement with them, okay. Why would you say no to this? No trade routes between our markets. Oh, okay. Well, I think that can be fixed relatively easily. I've got a lot of goods that I can stand to export, and I'm sure at least one of them you'd be willing to buy. There you go. See? Buy our guns, America. Let's see. Sell luxury furniture. I don't know why the fuck clothes is so goddamn expensive. Why does Schleswig have its own market? Never. Let's import all this coffee. Schleswig, why do you have your own market? I'm very confused by this. Oh, you're not a puppet of mine. For some reason, I really, really thought you were. I really don't know why I thought you were a puppet of mine. But okay, apparently you're not. Okay, now you just have a general base reluctance. For whatever reason, the rest of the stuff is not overtaking it. But okay, we'll survive. Moral International from the US. Okay. Which for some reason seems to have prevented me from now being... Oh, never mind. I'm just completely missing it. Doesn't even let me click on it now, though, for some reason. Oh, because our relations are poor for some reason. And France is embargoing us. Okay, sure then. No, I'm not going to embargo them back, though. Not right now, at least. Why did our relations go poor, America? We were literally neutral, and then I made it in I started trading with you, and all of a sudden, now you're pissed off at me. Is it because I'm trading with the Free States of America? I don't know. I don't think the AI has ever paid attention to that in the past, if it is actually a reason why they would have poor relations with us. Just have to deal with it, I guess. Large numbers of Romanian people have begun migrating from our country to Lancashire and the surrounding states. Oh, the Romanians are leaving us. I get it, our standard of living is kinda shit. It'll get better, guys. Trust me. We just sort of have to make it past this first bit. And I say that, but we're like 30 years into the game, so, you know, take that as you will. Oh, France? What? Okay, for some reason, France's attitude towards us has suddenly changed from belligerent to conciliatory. France views Austria-Hungary as a mistaken enemy in geopolitical affairs. They're likely to try to patch up relations and end any ongoing rivalry. Okay, sure, you first, Russia. Or not Russia. Not Russia. You first, France. You first. You end the rivalry, and I will totally end mine. I don't need it because of the diplomatic influence at all. No siree. I'll survive without it. That's complete bullshit, I can tell you that right now. We are definitely keeping that going. Oh, yeah, there goes Russia and Prussia. The two Ushas fighting. I don't see a good reason why Russia will fail this time. I can invite a country to our power block. Who? No, seriously, who? I don't see anybody with 200 relation. Oh, Holstein. Welcome aboard, Holstein. Oh shit, okay, yep, this is what I really was not having a big... this is what I'm not a fan of. So this is what's going to probably kick off our Italian unification issue. Is the North Italian succession kicking off at this moment. Any other moment and it would not have mattered. But at this exact moment in time, it actually does sort of matter. And it grows pretty quickly. Only a couple of weeks. And America goes into a revolution right at this time. So we won't be able to call them in if we were looking forward to doing that. So the American religious revolt is apparently more amicable to us than the actual U.S. government. Oh, never mind. They're both cooperative. Your big thing is that you're currently just still neutral with us for relations, but I'm not sure how long that'll last. I don't see you winning it, though, if I'm completely honest. Well, the U.S. mostly seems to be relying on conscripts, but it's a shit ton of conscripts. Okay, here we go. I don't know why you guys are here. I swear to God, I always tell you to station yourselves in the Balkans. I don't know why you constantly end up back in Italy. "5 days to Milan. Take the quadrilateral at once." Sardinia Piedmont joins in on San Marco's side. Oh, Westphalia has a decent-sized army. I find that a little bit weird, but okay. Sicily joins in against us, but this is a separate war. This is the war itself for unification. And this is the one that I'm going to need help with. But unfortunately, I don't have a lot of allies I can ask. It really is basically just Russia. And Russia's a bit distracted right now. Ooh, oh shit, okay. Well, the American religious revolt might actually stand a reasonable chance now. We're staying out of that because we've got our own mess to clean up right now. Don't exactly have the time to be messing around in other people's yard. Other people's yards, rather. There we go. France sides with 2 Sicilies. Let's call Russia in as our ally. I now need to try to mobilize some sort of defense against France over there. We'll guarantee your independence. Not that that matters. And yeah, I just really don't have a lot of options here. And by that I mean I have none. Those are all the people we could have potentially invited in. The question is going to be how much, if any, real support Russia is going to provide us, and the answer to that is obviously very little, because they're not really using their full force, as they probably should be, to mop up Prussia significantly quicker. Wave of workers' strikes inspired by the movement to enact universal suffrage have racked industries in Croatia. Striking workers have joined protests in several cities across the region. Make it known that we recognize their demands. We will get right on that. We're just kind of broke right now. Broke isn't strictly accurate, but we're kind of unable to dedicate the resources necessary. Here we go. Large force of Russians. Thing is, Russia doesn't have a particularly great military. That needs to be stated up front. They really don't. If we take a look at this, there's... Oh, I'll say that actually they're halfway decent than I recall. They're still running around with cannon infantry for some reason, or cannon artillery for some reason, for some of these units. And some of them are still running around with line infantry because reasons. So quickly try to mop up San Marco before this kicks off. Thing is, thing we have here is that I would love to take the northern part of Two Sicilies out of the playing field, but we don't really have the ability to do that. Well, I say that that's not strictly true. We do, but the issue is that it would... Well, I say it's an issue. That's not strictly true, actually. It does potentially have benefits. It would open up a southern front against France, but I don't really think we have the manpower necessary to actually be able to pull it off, per se. We can certainly try it, however. I believe you guys are based out of Italy, right? Only the game tells me annoyingly. But I believe Third Corps is based out, or the Third Corps Commando is based out of Italy. Nope, sorry, I don't want to appoint a bureaucrats. That's fine with me. I don't really care to piss off Russia, so I don't really mind if the anti-Russian society loses supporters. I don't know why you guys have such shit. Literally makes no sense, but whatever. Take war goals against France. This would significantly weaken France if we were able to get it, but I just don't see us getting it in this campaign. Okay, I think that's all fine. Russia still hasn't finished their war against Prussia. Jesus Christ. Of course, Bulgaria is not going to help us because they are defiant towards us for their attitude. And so this is going to be a pain in the ass. This war will be a slog. Thus, not very fun to fight. If we can hold on the south long enough to get to Paris, we can kick France out, or vice versa. Hold long enough in the north to conquer Campania. We can potentially kick 2 Sicilies out, which would then allow us to dedicate our forces to focusing on France. I am in many ways perfectly fine with either option, because both benefit us. The big thing is just getting that survival, which is unfortunately actually very difficult. Because we don't have the largest army. Oh, Prussia's winning their war this time around, which is a shame because it shouldn't be happening. Oh good, the guys for enacting national militia backed off. So you guys to adamant defense, your main job is just to hold. until either the main southern offensive manages to kick two Sicilies out of the war, or the northern offensive kicks France out. Set that as a strategic objective. I don't know why Russia dedicated so many troops to the defense of Lucca. It really shouldn't have. Lucca was not going to hold. Okay, I think I'm actually going to need you guys to go on the offensive now. Oh, well, yeah, it's partly because I'm broke as shit. Let's toss a bunch of money at the military now. Should have done that much sooner. I kind of forgot that I had lowered the wages. Might have been in a bit of a better position if I'd done that sooner. Gonna go ahead and abandon that. Oh, did you white peace that war, I'm guessing? I don't know if you won. I really don't think you did. I don't think you did. In many ways, I really just kind of need this to last long enough to force a white peace. I don't really care too much if Two Sicilies manages to unify. Yeah, Papal States would not agree to being annexed. They actually will literally give up nothing to allow for peace. So I just kind of need to get France to decide, hey, this isn't really worth continuing to fight, and I'll be fine with that, honestly. Papal States is a little too big for the britches, thinking that, you know, we're actually going to fight this to a cut down to size on Two Sicilies. I just don't really see that happening, honestly. I mean, you'll at least get to still live Two Sicilies. Like, you realize that's the thing, right? With this war goal, you would still live. I feel like you should be willing to accept this. Oh, yeah. Of course, though, now that the Papal States realize, oh, hey, maybe we should accept just the white peace, France and Two Sicilies have decided we have no reason to accept the white peace now. So now I actually have to fight this for significantly longer than I would actually like to fight this. Because neither Two Sicilies or France are willing to just kind of give up now. But they've realized, hey, we actually have a halfway decent shot. Okay, so Two Sicilies has now annexed the Papal States. And Two Sicilies is offering me a white piece. Now here's part of the thing, okay? The tide sort of started to turn, so maybe I am actually wanting to, you know, give the Two Sicilies a big old middle finger or two. Because we've actually made a bit of a push. Although we lost a bit. We lost Romagna. Or Romagna, rather. Fortunately. Although we are about to open a southern front against France, which is potentially useful for allowing us to swoop in from behind. So I might actually be willing to say no now to Two Sicilies as well. Unfortunately, Kong did not get any support in their diplomatic play against France to conquer the Ivory Coast off of France. If they did, that would have been potentially helpful for us, because that would have opened up another front for France to actually have to potentially dedicate troops to, but I can see why nobody really wants to support Kong. You know what? We're going to go ahead and I think end this part here. We're going to continue this, and I think we're going to keep fighting. Because I think we actually have a halfway decent shot. Should be 10, right? Yep. I think we actually have a halfway decent shot. And if we can do that, this would significantly set back, if not potentially outright stop Italian unification. Can you? I don't know if you can launch multiple unification plays. If your initial one fails, I don't know if you actually get the opportunity to launch a second one. You may have to conquer the old-fashioned way, which the AI just generally will not do. And I think this would basically settle down. Also, I don't know if that would have any impacts regarding North Italian succession. If stopping the unification play effectively stops this. Oh, I don't know. Also, I really hate how this war is not just called, you know, Two Sicilies, Italian unification, or, you know, the Italian unification war, just something to that effect. Just to make it obvious, because that's what this is exactly. This is 100% a war for Italian unification, and it really should just be called that, in my opinion, but whatever. That's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time as we, well, kind of hope that we end up continuing this successful push into Italy to be able to actually turn this war around. Until next time, goodbye and farewell.